Marthausen, and I'm a friend of the show.
I am Francisca George, and I'm a friend of the show.
Perfect.
Hi, my name is Susan Leemans, and I'm a friend of the show.
My name is Zainab Sammaz, and I'm a friend of the show.
Boom.
Hey guys, my name is Sasha Vickery, and I'm a friend of the show.
Boom.
Hi, my name is Lloyd Harris, and I'm a friend of the show.
Perfect.
Hi, my name is Jan Faria, and I'm a friend of the show.
Boom.
Yes.
Take one. Well done.
Hi, my name is Jasmine Paulini, and I'm a friend of the show.
Wow, Jasmine, you got it in one time.
Ready? Play.
Hello and welcome to Tennis Asia TV alongside Talking Tennis. I'm Eddie and you're joining me for this round of 16 clash in Rabat, Morocco between Janice, Chen and Camila Osorio. Yes, this is the second meeting between this pair, having just faced each other earlier this year. I think it was Merida they played it was on hard courts where Janice Chen lost to Osorio actually in straight sets. Osorio winning, I think, 6-4, 6-4. Janice Chen here though is the number one seed. You won't see her be number one seed too often. She's not been in any way at the WTA level for too long, but she is the number one seed here. But as you know, certainly coming into this, despite the difference in the ranking, as an underdog because she is, a newcomer to clay, and she's been struggling a bit, certainly in this clay season, to string wins together. She just got her second win of the clay season in this tournament, and that was against Henneman, the Swedish player. But just started off there with a very good point from Chen. Now, this is an interesting battle because obviously Osorio has much more clay pedigree. She's got a few titles, including in her native country. I think 3 WTA titles. But certainly much more adept on the clay. And actually, she made the semi-finals at this tournament last year. Chen making her first appearance this time. I think she just lost out in 3 tight sets to Jacqueline Christian last year. So, yeah, she's obviously done well here before, and no reason why she can't do well again here. Just to let you know, I am broadcasting to you live from Seoul, South Korea. Producer John of Talking Tennis is in Bonn, Germany, and he'll be keeping an eye on the French Open qualifying event, which of course is going on right now. This is the final week before the French Open, and actually the French Open will start. The main draw will start this week on Sunday. And yes, I mean, comment there from producer that Jen's lost to Osorio earlier. This was rough for Janice. In the scoreline, it wasn't too bad because it was a 6-4, 6-4. You think, well, it's not too bad as a straight sets loss, but it was actually Janice was up, I think 4-1. It could have been 5-1. And then, she looked like cruising in that first set, and then, things collapsed and she couldn't try and keep up the momentum as well in the second set. So, yeah, wow, that's a bit of an error there from Camila Osorio. We've had some good rallies so far in this first game. So first break point of the match, 30-40 on the Camila Osorio serve. And of course, Chen having got that win, which has been few and far between. Oh, well, it wasn't a bad return there from Janice Chen, running around the backhand, hitting a big forehand return cross court, as she often does. But Osorio was there to get it and hit a backhand with interest. A great winner. And back at juice now. Well, I say back at juice. We're at juice for the first time. Okay. Again, decent return there from Janice, keeping her in the point. Of course, she's going to try and run around that backhand and hit that forehand. But yeah, not quite quick enough to get round at that time. and makes an error. So it's advantage Osorio. Yeah, in that last match between them, it was Janice up a double break and or almost up at the break. I can't remember, but she was. It looked like she was cruising, and then and there we go. Osorio just hitting an ace to take the first game. But yeah, there's been a bit of a theme with that, with Janice Chen's match where she's been up in sort of good positions and then fallen apart, and yeah, that's kind of what I see in a lot of her matches, to be honest. She's a bit up and down. Oh, it's 6-4, 6-3. I said 6-4, 6-4. Yeah. 6-4, 6-3 to Camila Osorio. But Osorio has been having a pretty good year. She won the WTA 125 title in Manila. I was there to witness that. Yeah, she deserved to win that title. And that was in hard courts. But yeah, she is even more adept on the clay, and this is going to be a tough battle for Janice. And I think for Janice, I think definitely with the way she plays, I think it's going to be easier for her to play on the quicker surfaces. But maybe she'll take some confidence having had that win again in the first round. As I say, just her second win of the clay season, but then she just goes for a backhand slice there, but just drifting wide into the tram line. So already under a little bit of pressure. Love 15 on Janice Chen here on her serve. That was a good serve, though, to follow up Janice, and Osorio unable to return into the court. So 15 all. And yeah, Janice, I guess, I'm sure wanted to do it, probably not having too much expectations, regardless if she does win this or not, going into the French Open, which of course is starting very soon. Oh, and that was a big second serve, just wide though, going down the tee. Yeah, you can see there in Hawkeye. Yeah, it was wide, and it's a double fault, so that means it's 15-30. Hi there, Sports and Politics 240. In case you are confused about who I'm talking to, so this stream is actually being broadcast both on Tennis Asia TV and Talking Tennis. So if you're watching on one of there, please hit like and subscribe. And if you feel like it, you can go to the other channel, Talking Tennis or Tennis Asia TV, and hit like and subscribe there. Yeah, I mean, certainly Camila Osorio is the better clay player. As I say, Janice Chen has only got not much experience at all in clay and only 2 wins on the surface this year. So there's a couple of double faults she's throwing in as well, which is not going to help, obviously. Double fault there from Janice Chen to give Camila Osorio her first breakpoint opportunity of the match. And Camila Osorio had a 30-40 as well on her serve, and she saved it. Can Janice do the same? Oh, it was a big serve out wide, but it does come back. Good play back there by Osorio. And yeah, that was it. Just Osorio attacking the backhand there. The slice did come back, but it was a little bit short. And Osorio hit it with interest on the forehand into the forehand of Janice Chen, and Janice Chen was unable to get it over the net. So already we got a break. Camila Osorio up 2-love early in this match, which is the round of 16 match in Morocco. The winner of this match, by the way, will go through and play Pana Udvardi of Hungary in the quarterfinals. She came through in straight sets. Well, there's first point of Camila's service game here, though, going to Janice Chen. The deep backhand slice pushing Osorio back, and she put her forehand into the net. Elsewhere, by the way, we've had the tennis in Strasbourg. All those round of 16 matches already completed. They were all straight sets, and one match ending with a walkover at 3-1. That was the conqueror of Alexiala, Olyanikova, beating Bushkova. Wow, and just as I said that, I just saw a big forehand winner into the corner by Janice Chen, hitting with intent there. She's love 30, so perhaps a little chance here for her to break back. We'll see. Also in Strasbourg, though, we had it's just seeing producer mentioning football. Yeah, so I'm coming to that maybe in a bit. Zhang Shuai, she got a victory in straight sets against Diane Parry in Strasbourg. Zhang Shuai, the veteran Chinese player, going in as a lucky loser, and it's proved to be a very lucky spot for her. And then the good play there from Janice Chen, using the slice pretty well, and then setting it up for the forehand, going big inside out. And yeah, love 40, three breakback points for Chen. Yeah, I mean, I think when Chen, if she's going to obviously utilize that slice, it's got to be hit with more venom more often. And, that was obviously a bit better, because if it's just an easy floater, a lot of players will just lap that up. Wow, and there we go. Janice Chen, great movement, great pace. She gets to that backhand slice and it hits a beautiful slice winner down the line. And that is a great game for her to break back to love. 2-1 back on serve. Also, by the way, in Strasbourg, Victoria Mboko won and set up an all-Canadian meeting in the quarterfinals between Victoria Mboko and Leila Fernandez. And yeah, John mentioned the crazy end to the Scottish football season. Hearts looked like they might win, but no, dramatic final day of the season. The mighty Glasgow Celtic comes through to win 3-1 in that final match. It was a face-off between the top two teams. Celtic needed to win, and they did so. And order was restored. Okay, but yes, Ghosty. Indeed. Yeah, so on serve, I mean, good for Janice to bounce back like that. Elsewhere, obviously, French Open qualies. A lot going on. Wang Jiu winning against Storm Hunter there. I can see that. Linda Fruvertova. She's ahead opposite in a break against Ponche. Coleman Wong is one set all against Kolar. So we'll see that's in the final set. We'll see how he can do. Coleman's only played the one slam main draw. That was the US Open. It'd be interesting if his second came at the French Open. I wouldn't have necessarily expected that. Toby Samuel of Great Britain, by the way, beat David Goffin, a comeback victory in 3 sets. So he'll be one match away from I'm assuming it's going to be first French Open main draw. Ooh, net cord helping out Janice there. Her shot just bouncing off the top of the net with that inside-out forehand. Jaime Faria, a friend of the show, friend of Talking Tennis, the Portuguese tennis player, losing out, or not losing out, failing to take break points, but he wins 6-1. He's up 6-1 in the first set, and then 3-6 to Colton Smith, and it's 3-all on serve in the final set. So still a chance for him to get through. And that was a good serve out wide. Now, Janice does look pretty pumped up here, though. And that was obviously good for her to bounce back after getting broken. Has been serving well, despite the couple of double faults. Other than that, it's been pretty good. And I think certainly it's understandable that Osorio is the favourite. You have to respect her pedigree on the surface and generally how, she's been playing pretty well this year. But I guess from Janice's perspective, she's going to be quite motivated, to get the win here. Perhaps, maybe starting to adjust a bit more to this surface. That was good play, though, there from Osorio, dominating the point, moving Chen around to start off this game. So at least it's nice weather there in Rabat, Morocco. I kind of expect it to be quite dry there. It's been raining all day here in Seoul. Although it's maybe a nice little break from the above average heat that we had last week. Yeah, 30 love here now to Osorio as she serves. That was a tremendous ace down the tee from a Camila Osorio. Connected with that one beautifully. I think it was, John asked me before who's like, who's the best interview. I mean, wouldn't say it, I didn't have a one-on-one talk with Camila Osorio, but she was really fun in press. I mean, we talked to her a few times in the press conference, and Camila Osorio was really fun. Very, very, very relaxed. So great for any interviewers, I think. Oh, well, some blistering forehands there from Chen, and then followed up with a slice across court, and it just lands inside the line, and that's enough to throw off Osorio. So we're here at 40-30, still with a game point for Osorio, but perhaps a little chance for Chen to create some pressure here. Oh, there was a let. Did it actually hit the net, or was something happened? Did someone drop the ball or something? Yeah, but not sure what happened there, as the Osorio looked to be in control there, but they replay the point at 40-30. This time she goes down the tee, but Chen gets it back. Oh, a bit of net cord maybe helping Osorio there. Yeah, okay. In the end, yeah, Osorio does win the point. So it is a hold for Osorio and 3-2. So far, though, it's been a pretty competitive affair. Both players looking up for it and playing pretty well here. Earlier on, by the way, just before this, we had Yasmin Kabaj, the local player from Morocco, coming through in straight sets against Tatiana Maria. Elsewhere, Coleman Wong has broken up 2-love in that final set against Kolar, but now at 15-40, so perhaps going to get broken back. Sounds like a very much like a Coleman roller coaster match as usual. We'll see. Oh no, it's back at juice now, so it's at juice. The score is sometimes a little bit slow to update. Elsewhere, what happened? Lloyd Harris lost out to Pellegrino. Bernard Tomic is out. Buyun Chuketi out to Nava. And I shouldn't forget, Io Ito is a sort of Japanese player, a cult favorite for many. She's down a set, though, to Lulu Sun. Lulu Sun from New Zealand taking the first set 6-3 on serve, though, early in the second set. Yes. Lloyd Harris, of course, friend of the show. Tomic, Bernard Tomic is not, but I'm sure there's time yet. Second serve now for Chen. She's up 15-love on serve here. Oh, yeah, that was a serve right into the middle of the box there. And Osorio was all over that. Bold claims there from the producer. Jaime Faria has a backhand down the line, top 20 in the world. I mean, there's a lot of good backhands down the line, surely, but well, Janice coming into the net there, and the volley I thought might have been a little drop volley, a little bit too heavy, but was just enough. By the way, Coleman Wong is up 3-love in that final set. He did manage to hold. Second serve here. And again, it was the same thing. On the ad side, again, though, I think that the serve was too short. Good return from Osorio, but it was the same, exactly the same. She's just all over that with on the backhand side. So 30 all here. Oh, yeah, that was good play from Osorio. And Chen just pulls her forehand wide into the dram line. So it's 30-40, and she's going to have to save another break point. Wow. I thought that might have been it for Janice there and the break for Osorio, but she did actually well with the defensive slice. It was a pretty wicked slice into the far corner, and Osorio's backhand up the line goes long. So it's deuce. Wow, that was great play. Good scampering there from Janice Chen, but eventually Osorio was there, getting down low and finishing with that forehand into the open court. Nice tennis from both players, but yeah, Osorio coming out on top. So advantage Osorio here. And that's out. It's going to be a second serve, and this is when she struggled on that ad side on the second serves previously. What's she going to do now? She might have to go a different way. She does go big. And of course, she was just... Yep, she went for this pretty much the same thing there, Janice. And of course, Osorio was prepared and hits the return winner. And so a break for Camila. Osorio up 4-2. And pretty good work, I mean, from Janice. But I think it was just some of those second serves which let her down a bit. And the first serve into the net there. Second serve now for Camila Osorio. Was that finished with Janice Chen forehand into the net, so it's 15-love. Well, I can just see there, Coleman Wong about to go up a double break in that final set, and that could be it for him. You'd imagine that would be difficult for Kolar to come back from that, but well, that's a double fault there, though, from Osorio. 15-all. She doesn't want to just hand the momentum back, because obviously you get up 5-2. It's pretty good psychologically. Just one game away from taking the first set. So Coleman, he does get up the double break. 4-love he leads in that final set. And now he's serving. So, yeah, it could be 5-love. Seemingly big hold for Jaime Faria. At 4-3 on serve, by the way, in that final set. Well, Soria's going big there. She was in a good position, but sends that forehand long. It's 30-all. And she seemed to be sort of pulling away from Chen here, but she might just be letting her back into it if she's not careful. Osorio to serve, it lands in. And yeah, Chen not in place to return that. That is a decent free point for Osorio, 40-30. Now a chance to go up 5-2. And yeah, it's Chen dragging that forehand wide there. I think, yeah, she'll be disappointed with that. But that's 5-2 now for the Colombian in this first set, and she'll just be one game away from taking it. Coleman Wong, 40-love now, about to take Yeah, he's about to go 5-love up, isn't he, Coleman, in this final set. Obviously, it'd be huge for him to be able to get through to the final round. I'm not sure who he'd be playing yet. Yeah, Coleman up 5-love now, so surely now he'll take the match. But yeah, and elsewhere, Himeno Saketsumi of Japan, she won her match against Von Deichmann of Liechtenstein. She won in 3 sets. She's 1 match away from her French Open debut. And that second set between Lulu Sun and Io Ito is still on serve at 2-all. Yeah, Liechtenstein, well-known powerhouses in tennis and in football. So Chen serving to stay in this first set. I think she gets a decent serve in, and Osorio fails to return it, so it is 15-love. I think, actually, she's made some, I think she has improved a little bit, Janice, on the clay, but I just don't think it's that easy for her. I just don't think the lateral movement it's more difficult for her. You can see she's just a step slower, changing direction, but she's trying to adjust to do it. But also, yeah, she tends to play a pretty aggressive game, and sometimes you need to have a little bit more patience on the clay. It's not always it's easy though. But she looks like she's might a lot. Yeah, she's just loved to hold here, Janice Chen. So she'll make Osorio serve out the set. Let's see if she can get it done. It looks like Jean Faria, yeah, about to serve out and take the match against Colton Smith. And yeah, good time for my stream to freeze up. I'm going to have to refresh this one. Always seems to happen at the best moments, just right as we're coming to the conclusion of this set, as Osorio's serving for it. Never seems to happen, 1-love. Well, Chen's got a point here, so I missed that point, yeah. So, but then Osorio's just won there, so it's 15-all. Yeah, first serve out there from Osorio, so it will be a second serve here at 15-all. Taking our time on that second serve. And worked out well for her because Jen sends her forehand return long. She was going for that. 30-15 now. Yes, good, consistent, aggressive play there. Not letting slip. Not giving an inch there, Osorio. And now she has 2 set points here. Second serve, though, now for Osorio. 40-15. Oh, and it's a double fault. Going pretty big on that second serve, it must be said. She was going down the middle, but there looked like a fair bit of pace on it for a second serve. And yeah, just going long. So 40-30 here, but still 1 set point here. And we're in a... Oh, there, it was just enough there. Chen had the open court there, but she just couldn't adjust her body to get that forehand over. It goes into the net, and it's 6-3. First set to Camila Osorio, the Colombian, gets the first set.
How are you, Eddie?
Yes, pretty good, pretty good.
Can you hear me all right?
I can.
Good. Do you mind if we just do 2 minutes on Mboko against Leylah? I know it's not Asian tennis related, but if you can indulge me for 2 minutes, that'd be great.
Sure.
All right. So, Mboko against Leylah, it was a match you highlighted. In fact, I wasn't aware that they were about to clash in Strasbourg. Probably about as heavyweight, at least in terms of names and stature, as that WTA 500 can get in the absence of last year's champion Rabat and Madison Keys pulling out on the eve of the tournament. Fingers crossed she is fit and healthy for the French Open. She obviously picked up an injury in the final when she was up a set of the WTA 125 in Paris last week against Diane Parry. They have played once before, Mboko and Fernandez. I've actually gone for Leylah to win the title pre-tournament. It was just like, yeah, I think she's probably playing the best clay court tennis right now. And Mboko, of course, has had a few spells off the tour in recent weeks and doesn't fill me with a huge amount of confidence on this surface. I don't know if you've got any thoughts on anything I've just said.
Yeah, so you mentioned that they did face each other.
Hong Kong.
And that was, last year in Hong Kong. And that was in the semi-finals when Mboko won that in 3 sets. And then they came... Did she go on to win the title, didn't she?
She did, yeah. I think she beat Leylah. She beat Ayala en route, right?
Yes, in the second round, I think.
Pretty big match, yeah. It was.
But yeah, obviously a bit different now, and yeah, I agree that it probably favors Fernandez this time, because I think Fernandez as well. She hadn't been having a great year to start off, but then since clay, she's picked up a few wins and seems to be, building up a bit of momentum again. And obviously here in Strasbourg probably feels a bit of an opportunity building, and certainly she's going to be fired up for this match against Victoria and Mboko. Obviously, last match is pretty competitive as well. So
it was super close, probably in conditions that might well have favoured Mboko slightly, especially in terms of hard courts. I mean, Leylah's great on the hard courts, but suddenly the advantage that I think she has on the natural surfaces, clay in particular, sort of goes away. But the other thing with Leylah is the change of surface, I think, is a really important point, because she sort of faded in terms of her form probably post-Washington last year until the clay. But as soon as she got the clay under her boots, suddenly a new condition, a new environment. In fact, Europe even stronger than Charleston from her perspective. And the wins and losses she had in Stuttgart, I think I saw all 3 of her matches there, were impressive in different ways. The win over Sonmez, she was down big style in the deciding set. It was a bit of a mini collapse from Zeynep, but Leylah obviously made her work for that. And then to push Rabat and her eventual champions so hard showed me in those 3 matches, and also the comfortable win over Ayala, showed me that if not back, she was going to be a force to reckon with throughout this clay court season. Also then gets to the quarterfinals in Madrid before losing to eventual finalist Mira Andreeva, beating Ann Lee and Jovic en route. And Jovic, in a way, is a bit like Mboko, someone who's got not a huge amount of experience on the clay. Rome for Leylah was very disappointing, actually, to lose to Masarova. Masarova was double bageled shortly afterwards. And then Leylah actually had a disappointing loss to Blinkova, but on the main tour at least. And she's picked up again here in Strasbourg, wins over Jean and then Freck. So I feel pretty optimistic about Leylah's chances in this match.
Yeah, I agree. I think, and obviously, those last two losses might have been a concern, but obviously she's come through, here pretty well. I mean, against Freck, it might have been a bit more tricky, but still she comes through in 3 sets, I think. Pretty well. It was a tight one, but I mean, against Boko, I think she'll be, as I say, she'll be up for it. I don't think it's too much pressure or anything like that. And I think it's, definitely Mboko's going to be the one probably feeling more uncomfortable, at least coming into the match. I mean, we'll see how it plays out. But I mean, it could actually also be an interesting one. But I wouldn't also be that surprised maybe if Fernandez maybe gets it done this time. It could be in straight sets. I don't know.
Yeah, just one more thing on Mboko in terms of to back up what I was saying about her absences. Didn't play until Madrid, so no Charleston, no Stuttgart or Linz or any of the other options during that early part of the clay court season. And then she loses her first match in Madrid and then pulls out through illness in Rome. So she's actually only played one match until Strasbourg since Miami, albeit that was a good-ish win over Boisson. I think Boisson from a year ago, and I'd be very impressed with that win from Mboko, but Boisson has spent a lot of time off the tour and is just easing herself back just in time for the French Open. So, I am favouring Leylah. I think especially in the early games, she might be able to put her foot down, and that might be enough to just get the win in the first sort of 15, 20 minutes.
Yeah, and perhaps, obviously it's going to be difficult for Mboko. Maybe if she, maybe part of her is probably thinking if it does stop here, well, she gives her a bit more time to prepare for obviously the French Open. And then, but I think, Fernandez, I think Leylah's going to feel like this is a good opportunity for her because obviously if she gets this win, then I'm not sure who she goes through to play next, but obviously I can looking at the players left, it probably feels like it's an opportunity here of Kasatkina, Christian, Zhang. We'll see who she might play, but it's interesting. I'd like to watch it if it's on. If it's at a good time, I'll have to wait and see. But.
Yeah. Your time zone is obviously not so funny. I think it's a great chance for Leylah to pick up a title. I'm guessing she's not won a 500 on clay. She's obviously won 500s elsewhere, but don't think she's won a 500 on clay. And sometimes this week before a slam is a good chance to tick that off if you haven't ticked it off before. All right, just quickly before we return to Janice, Chen, Camila, Osorio. Chen is serving at the beginning of the second set. They are at deuce. In fact, they've got a break point for Osorio. And I also see Jinyu Zhao or Jinyu Gao of China is about to take the court on court 13 against Harmony Tan. So that's an interesting qualifying match to keep up to date with. That's interesting as well. Obviously, I've just seen Jaime Faria come through a bit of an epic as Tan and Zhao. Is it Zhao or Gao? Do you know how to say that surname of the Chinese player?
I need to see.
It's G-A-O. It's G-A-O.
Oh, Gao, I think.
Gao. Probably is. Yeah, if it's Chinese. She's playing Harmony Tan in French Open qualifying second round, I guess. So, Harmony Tan is someone I'm a bit more familiar with. That's for sure.
I think sometimes, I'm trying to look at on the Google thing. Google's sometimes a bit funny, and I noticed it was missing out some matches earlier, and then it popped up again. I was looking for the Lulu Sun Aoito match, and it disappeared, and then it just popped up again. But
all right. I'm going to share the score on the screen because it's interesting. First game of this second set, and I'll speak to you again soon.
All right. And back to the match. It's been keeping an eye on that while we've been talking, and it's been a difficult one for Janice, already under pressure. A few juices, a few break points faced and saved. Is she going to be able to hold out? But in the end, that was a really nice serve out wide from Janice Chen, and following up with a 1-2 with the forehand up the line. Osorio was scampering to get there, but she just couldn't get it. Of course, good play from Janice, and she has an advantage. Perhaps she can hold on here. She is the #1 seed. Although, as I say, when it comes to on this surface, she's certainly not higher ranked than Osorio. And carefully directed slices there, just putting off Osorio. And that was enough to get the game there for Janice Chen. So come through a tough one. And yeah, I mean, certainly it still looks to me like Osorio is going to be, obviously she's taken the first set, the one that's maybe going to have a little bit of a dip for Janice to get in here. She's definitely the more natural clay court and is obviously playing well right now. Elsewhere, French Open qualifying, we've been talking about it. Coleman Wong, Hong Kong's Coleman Wong has made it through to the final round of qualification. And of course, you know, with the sheer lack of history of Hong Kong tennis players, especially on the men's side, you know, it's, you know, he's just making new records every time he gets through. So every record for himself is pretty much a record for Hong Kong, Coleman Wong. And so Coleman Wong will face off against Juan Carlos Prado Angelo of Bolivia, who is just 21 years of age and is, I have to admit, is not a player that I'm familiar with. He has one challenger title to his name. Incidentally, so does Coleman. One singles challenger title, finished up runner another two, but they, of course, these came in South America. So he's won a challenger title in Peru. So another Bolivian on. So we got a player from Bolivia against a player from Hong Kong there. It could be an interesting battle. Perhaps, though, you'd maybe fancy the clay quarter to get through. But we've got pressure here. Love 30 on the Osorio serve. And she blasts a backhand into the net off the Janice Chen slice. That's a couple of times that's happened now. And perhaps Osorio losing focus a little bit here. It's love 40 and 3 break points chances for Janice Chen. Incidentally, when she got a break, she broke back in the first set, Janice Chen, and it was a break to love. Is she going to do the same here? Oh, Janice just went for the little cute drop shot there. I thought she was going to go big, changed her mind, but the drop shot goes into the net, and Osorio saves one break point, 15-40. Jaime Faria through. Who else is going to be playing? Or who else is playing? Good play there from Osorio. Chen tried to run around to hit the forehand, but too well placed with too much pace from Osorio. Just Chen wasn't able to adjust. It's 30-40. And Ayo Ito has broken back. She was down a break in that second set. So back on serve. And Osorio's just saved all 3 break points. It is back to Juice, or say back to it's at Juice. First Juice in this game. Wow, and her shot just on the line there. On the outer edge. Yeah, feels like the chance is gone now for Janice, but yeah, that was a poor effort there on return off the second serve, and she looks towards her box, perhaps complaining about how bad that was and how the opportunity is perhaps gone from love 40. Advantage now to Osorio. Is she going to finish it off? Well, it's going to be a second serve. Oh, and it's a double fault. So Osorio again, perhaps feeling a little bit of pressure there. And it's the problem with tennis, you know, things can swing very quickly. Ooh, Janice Chen's little cross-court drop shot. Yeah, just going long or wide. But yeah, it feels like an opportunity missed there from Janice if Osorio does take this game. Oh, but that was a great return this time from Janice. Just right into the hitting zone, really, for her forehand. And she went big and hit it up into the corner there. Sorry, I couldn't do anything about that return. So back to Juice. This game, could it be significant? Looks like Roberto Caballas Baena is about to serve out final set against Maestrelli in the French Open qualifying. But that was a good serve and follow-up shot there from Osorio to respond. She's got an advantage again. Good play in the end. Osorio finishing off and finally getting that game from having been down love 40. Chen was scampering there, but it was really to no avail, and Janice is going to be disappointed at not being able to take that game.
I've got a random interruption for you, Eddie.
All right.
Now, I'm going to show you something. Do you see this? Can you see who that is on this picture?
Is that David Beckham?
It is, yes. But where is it?
It's in, looks like, I'm going to say 2002 World Cup.
Very good. Very good. But where?
I don't know. Japan? Right. No?
Yeah, Japan. Yeah. Actually, all of England's games at that tournament were in Japan. It's in Sapporo. That's my ticket. You can see there.
Oh, I see you were there.
Yeah.
Wow.
My only time in Japan. was for that World Cup for 10 days. And I to be honest with you, I wasn't planning on bringing this on the show, but I'm just unpacking a few things in my house. I just got a shoe rack, which has miraculously tidied up an otherwise messy apartment in the last couple of days. In fact, I was putting the shoe rack together yesterday as I was watching Jaime Faria against Grigor Dimitrov in an absolute, classic in so many respects. Anyways, I was putting that together. It's helped me. But basically, I'm tidying up the apartment and I found this picture, which needs to go somewhere very special. So, yeah, I was at that game, 1-0, Beckham penalty down the middle. Yeah, and I was in Japan for 10 days. So you're a little familiar with Japan, right?
Yeah, I've actually been to Sapporo.
You've been to Sapporo, have you?
Yeah, okay. I went to Sapporo for one day and one night, really.
That's all I was there for.
Yeah, because what was it? Oh, yeah, I was going to Japan, but we kind of left it late to book the flights. So it was either go there directly for like an insane amount of money, or we were going to go via somewhere, and like Sapporo was what I chose. So it was a bit, but that was good. It was good, actually. I liked it. They have trams there.
Yeah. But I was there for 24 hours. So I was in Japan for 10 days for that World Cup. We landed on the Saturday. The tournament had just begun. I think the first match was in Korea between France and Senegal. I think Senegal's scorer that day, sadly, has passed away in one of those crazy shocks that the World Cup every now and again produces, especially in opening matches. I'm thinking of Cameroon against Argentina in 1990. And similarly, the reigning champs got humbled in the opening match by a country from Africa, Senegal. That would have been in Seoul, of course, that match. But anyway, then the match that probably happens on the Friday, and then there would have been a match or two on the Saturday, and that's when we arrived. And then on the Sunday, we saw England versus Sweden in Saitama, which is like a suburb, I guess, or it's Tokyo, but not Tokyo, if you know what I mean. Sort of like maybe Luton is to London or something like that. And we stayed in Tokyo throughout. We weren't planning on going to Sapporo, but I say we stayed there throughout. We did go to Ibaraki, which is about 4 hours by train from memory, to watch Ireland against Germany. Anyway, but we spontaneously decided to go to see England against Argentina in Sapporo, which meant an internal flight from what was then, I think, called Haneda Airport. I'm not even sure if it still exists, that airport. It was just like like a domestic airport. And went to see England, Argentina. We did actually book flights to go back, but back in those days, this is sort of pre-internet bookings, at least. The internet had been around for a couple long.
Yeah.
And we just reserved on the telephone flights for 20 hours to go back to Japan in the eventuality that we beat Brazil England beat Brazil in the quarters, but we lost. So then in those days, you used to just book flights. I think you'd have them reserved for 24 hours on the telephone, and you had to confirm in that 24 hours or the seats would go. I don't know if you remember or familiar with that sort of format of booking flight. And so we had seats on a plane for 24 hours, but then because England lost, we then didn't confirm seats, if you see what I mean.
Yeah. I remember
we were going to go back for the final. We go back for the final if we'd have beaten Brazil.
I remember watching the quarterfinal against Brazil, obviously. The lob over Siemens' head. But I was at school in secondary school, so I was like, but they let us just watch it. They let us watch the match, and which was cool.
I was already old enough to drink. I was already old enough to drink.
I wasn't. I don't think so.
All right, listen. Apologies for that interruption, but I can see Chen and Osorio remain on serve, and I'll speak to you soon.
Oh yeah, sure. Yeah, that was a big hold there. You mentioned on serve. Yeah, Chen, big hold there again, but it was followed by a big hold from Osorio. So a few big holes to start this set. I mean, I'm impressed as well because I feel like maybe Chen, probably earlier in the clay season, she might have fallen away a bit easier, but she's sort of fighting fairly well here. And obviously you can tell it's not her natural game. You know, her game doesn't naturally work tremendously on this surface, just because on this surface, because yeah, she likes to, obviously has a pretty good big first serve, and use that to, if not hit aces, but, you know, get in front of the point and be pretty aggressive from the start. Use that forehand and be aggressive, and, you know, not drag it out too long. Whereas obviously on clay, it's just played at a different rhythm, and you're going to have more rallies. It's just not as what she is comfortable with, and the movement and everything. But she's doing okay here. Oh, just sending that slice long. I mean, I think at least what I can see from intent, because a lot of people talk about Janice Chen's backhand, we know that she slices it a lot. She doesn't hit, you know, a top spin backhand a lot, but, you know, at least I can see that she's trying to, when she does hit that slice, she's trying to hit it with more interest, a bit more venom, come in with a bit more pace, you know, really knifing through it and trying to hit it a bit deeper in parts of the court which are going to cause more trouble for her opponents. So, yeah, and that at least is going to make her opponents think, you know, twice about just hitting it to the backhand, because if it's not, if it's there for her to take, then it could actually be more of a weapon for her. And so, yeah, it has to be hit with more intent rather than just floating back into the middle court. So, yeah, it's also another thing is at 30 all now in this Osorio service game is, you know, the question is, should she just work on, you know, hitting less slice? But the other thing is, you want to try and improve your strength. If you're going to hit the slice, try and make it more of a weapon. So obviously she hits a lot of them. Wow. And of course that forehand is pretty brutal when she gets it into play. And that's another breakpoint opportunity now here. 30-40 on the Osorio serve. Perhaps Chen, could she do something here? We've got a comment there in the chat on Tennis Asia TV. If you are watching on Tennis Asia TV, we're also streaming on Talking Tennis on YouTube. Hit like and subscribe. Oh, that was a good serve out wide, followed up with a backhand up the line there from Osorio to bring it to deuce. Where are you watching from? Those who are watching on YouTube, please don't be afraid to leave a comment. How do you think this match is going to go? Second serve here. Oh, that was a good return winner there from Janice Chen with the forehand. She read it and delivered cross court. So advantage. Comment here. Well, Chen, you win in 2 sets. She can't win in 2 sets because she's down a set to Osorio. So she can only win in 3 sets if she does win. Oh, a viewer watching from Las Vegas. Fantastic. Okay, so Juice here. Second serve now, though, for Osorio. Yeah, I was just talking to someone I know that was going to be in Sin City, he called it, referring to Las Vegas. Advantage again here for Chen. Another breakpoint opportunity. And it's going to be a second serve that she'll get a look at. Can Chen finally break and get a lead in a set, which she hasn't done in this match so far? Nope, because she had an opportunity there in that second serve and she went big with the forehand, but it hits it into the net. Disappointing from her perspective. Osorio, as I mentioned earlier, is semi-finalist from last year here. And she lost out to Jacqueline Christian. In a tight three-setter in that semi-final. She, by the way, Jacqueline Christian is in the quarterfinals in Strasbourg, another tournament going on right now. She'll be playing Daria Kasetkina. Interesting battle between those two there. Well, opportunities to break. 6 opportunities she's had to break, Janice. And she couldn't take them, and it's 2-all. So pressure for her again as she serves in this second set. Well, some venom, perhaps a bit of anger from Janice as she hits that forehand that was big and powerful right on the line, following up from that serve. And of course, it's going to be interesting. Obviously, she's pretty serve dominant, how she does on grass, which is going to be coming up very soon. And in fact, during the second week of the French Open, there will be the WTA 125 event in Birmingham. That's also an ATP Challenger 125. So that's the first sort of, first tournament of the grass court season for you. It's held during the last week of clay court. And obviously, it's a nice thing about tennis is having all the different surfaces. You've got clay, you've got grass, but obviously clay and grass are, both the sort of natural surfaces, but obviously play very differently. And yeah, it's nice to be able to have those in tennis. We have, players, different strengths coming to the fore. So yeah. Talk about Janice Chen. Also talked about Alex Ayala. She'll also be a player you would expect can maybe kick on and do something good on the grass this year. I mean, obviously she went to the final as a qualifier last year in Eastbourne and lost out that tremendous final to Maya Joint. But, Alex Ayala, perhaps she has a chance to maybe even win a tournament on grass this year. I wouldn't put it past her. Obviously, she came really close last year. And perhaps, that tournament in Birmingham, the 125 is a good place to start. And that was a nice little backhand, little slice come drop shot there from Janice Chen to get that winner. She's up 40-15, and certainly... Oh, well, that was a good return there from Camila Osorio. The serve wasn't bad out wide, but she gets it and it lands pretty deep. I think it maybe took Janice by surprise, but she, couldn't really do anything with that forehand. And this is an interesting battle between these two. It's been quite competitive. Yeah. In the end, a good hold from Janice Chen, going inside out big with that forehand, and Osorio just not able to get there. So it is 3-2 on serve in this second set. Pretty interesting stuff. And let's see what's happening in Paris at Roland Garros at the French Open. Claire Liu of the US is up against Katarzyna Kaba. And confirmation that Ayo Ito is out of French Open qualifying. Second round of quali, she loses in straight sets to Lulu Sun, the player from New Zealand, winning 6-3, 6-3. But I suspect Ito will be happy just to have got through one round there, because her form has been pretty woeful since coming back from injury, and just to be able to get a win in slam qualies, but especially on clay, is a bonus. And obviously you get much better prize money than you do on the ITFs. I mean, the difference is actually pretty laughable. I mean, and actually when the slams make so much money, that was that talk about maybe the slams should be paying, you know, the players more as a percentage of their revenue, because the amount they get as a percentage of revenue, I think it was something like 14% I've seen quoted. I don't know, I haven't done the math myself, but you know, compared to on the main ATP and WTA tours, they get about 22% of revenue. So there's potentially, you know, more room for them to get more money there. But I mean, especially not just for the big players who obviously bring in a lot of money, but you also got, you know, players lower down who, you know, for them just to be able to get an even slam qualies, or, you know, the slam main draw especially, it doesn't matter if it's just a first round loss, the amount of money they get from that actually, you know, it gives them a chance to actually have a living, especially if you make 4 main draws a year. So wow, this Janice is holding up here. Obviously a big point to start off with. She gets it to love 15, and there just hustling and using the slice there, which actually has been disrupting Osorio somewhat, which maybe seems surprising, but there's been you know, moments when, you know, clearly the Janice Chen slice is going in deep, and it has actually been brought out a few errors from Osorio. And there's another error, not off a slice, just in response to a Janice Chen forehand. And again, love 30 on Camila Osorio's serve. We've seen this before earlier in this set, and Janice failed to break. Is she going to be able to do it this time? And actually, if she does, you would say she's in a pretty good position to take this second set based on how well they've been playing. But no, Osorio puts a good serve out wide in this ad court into the backhand of Janice Chen, and she tries to go for the double hander, but obviously wasn't the best effort. This time Janice slices back. Just a step slow, but she's managing to stay in this rally somehow, Janice, but eventually the forehand error. Yeah, really struggling to move around and play how she would normally play. Obviously, if that was in a hard court, you know, she wouldn't be quite sort of struggling to run around and with her footwork and everything. But wow, this eventually the Janice Chen slice doing the work there. Osorio tried to respond with a little cute drop shot of herself, but drags it into the tram lines, and that is eventually a break finally for Janice Chen. I don't know how many breakpoint opportunities she's had, but it's been a lot. And yeah, she's up 4-2 in this second set, and perhaps, just perhaps, she can take this second set. Well, she's going to have to serve out here. I see one of our coaches there, wearing the Pepperdine tennis t-shirt. Pepperdine University is where she attended when she was at college in the US. Did very well there, especially in doubles. And ever since graduating, well, she seemingly just eased into professional finding herself up in the big leagues, within not much over a year. But that wasn't a great start. It was a double fault there from Janice Chen to start off. So it's love 15 here. Gets the serve in this time, but wow. That was some nice rallying there from both players, but eventually ending with a Janice Chen error when she was going inside in with the forehand. And now it's at love 30. So just after having finally broken and having had so many opportunities to do so, she finds herself at love 30 on her own serve. And that would be quite a disappointment if she was to get broken back here. Osorio as well. Big fighter, and her slice causing trouble there for Janice Chen, and it's love 40, just as we had in the previous game, but obviously the other way around. And 3 breakpoint opportunities for the Colombian. First serve out, so it's going to be a second serve. And this is disappointing. Janice might need some luck here if she's going to hold on. She waits to take this second serve. And yeah, good play from Osorio eventually. Being relentless, attacking the backhand. And yes, broken to love just after working so hard to eventually break. But that's tennis for you. No, good play though from the Colombian. She came out with intent and took her opportunity. And yeah, we'll see how it goes coming forward. Or going forward. So I mentioned the player from Liechtenstein earlier. The winner of this match will go through to play Pana Udvardi, who is from Hungary, but she beat in the second round Sada Nahimana of Burundi. Now, there are not many players from Burundi on the tour, but there's one for you. Elsewhere, we've obviously French Open qualies just started the match there. Nikolai Kjær of Norway, age 19, youngster there. And he beat another youngster, 20-year-old Bai of Belgium in the first round, and is now currently up against Tom Genst, German player, also fairly young, just 22 years of age. But Kjær, I'd expect, is the favorite in that matchup. And Gao Xinyu on serve 2-0 in that first set against Harmony Tan. Gao Xinyu of China, of course. And a nice little short backhand slice there, bringing Chen forward. That was awkward for her, and she sends her forehand way long Wow. The chip return actually on the backhand side was very good from Janice. It was right in the corner, but Osorio just got her feet into position really well and it hit a brilliant forehand winner up the line. Nice play there from Osorio. 30 love. Well, that was a good return though from Janice Chen. We've seen a few of those forehand returns with the angle cross court, short angle, and it is 30-15. Of course, Janice, if she could break here, then yes, she could be one game away from taking the second set. But we've been in that. She's been in that position before, failing to take or consolidate the break that she'd taken. Double fault though there from Osorio. Not coming at a great time. So 30 all here at 3-4. We do have men's tennis going on as well. We've got Hamburg Open taking place right now. Oh my goodness. Another second consecutive double fault from Camila Osorio gives Janice Chen a break point, and of course could be a big one. This is crucial. 30-40 here at 3-4. Oh. Well, it was a pretty safe serve, or just landing on the line there. So it was a good serve from Osorio, but then Chen run round it, but then tried to go big with her forehand, but hits it into the net. Well, yeah, and there's advantage Osorio. The Janice Chen ball just drifting long. Yeah, wasn't much in it, but the Hawkeye confirming it was out, and Osorio used her racket to draw the line around the ball, but she doesn't need to do that. Well, another great return there. Return winner from Janice Chen. A good forehand winner. Brings it back to deuce. Just mentioned that tournament in Hamburg, the men's tournament. Alejandro Davidovich Fokina about to take on Alex de Minaur. Ooh, first serve just going wide from Camila. Looked close, but must have been out. Second serve here. Oh, another double fault. Another double fault. 3 double faults coming in this game. And again, it brings up breakpoint opportunity for the Indonesian #1 seed. But can Chen take it? And she does. Her forehand return lands in, going a bit more conservative this time, but it lands deep and it draws the error from Camila Osorio. So Janice Chen is now up 5-3 and a chance to serve out and take this second set. Not easier said than done, though. Emiliana Arango is taking on Anna Bondar right now, also in Morocco. And that's on serve. 4-3 to Anna Bondar. And the Janice Chen first serve goes into the net there. Second serve in. That was a pretty aggressive second serve, but it does come back from Osorio. It came back with interest, and that got her into a good position in the point. and Janice Chen is forced to hit a forehand there, which lands out. So it's love 15. And of course, we saw after the last time Janice Chen broke, Osorio responded immediately. Janice could do with maybe perhaps getting a good first serve in here and getting a few easy points. But no, that one lands long. And a second serve now for the Indonesian. Oh, and the return comes in, but it was... Yeah, an awkward one for Janice Chen, and her slice backhand goes into the net. So it's love 30. And again, is this a repeat of what happened not too long ago? Janice Chen failing to take or consolidate her break. That was a good serve, though. Yeah, landing the first serve this time out wide. Osorio unable to return it into the box or into the court. And yes, 15-30. Oh, another good serve this time down the tee, but it does land in the return. That's good play from Osorio, but is Janice Chen going to be able to finish off? Yes, she does. She goes for a little cute drop shot there at the net. I mean, she maybe got away with that one, but Osorio was scrambling, but she couldn't get there. Yeah. Don't know if it was the best executed attempt to that, but nonetheless, Chen does win it, and it's 30-all here. She again goes for that serve out wide, but it's too wide. And second serve now. Crucial moments here because it's either going to be a break point or a set point. Does land in. And yeah, the Osorio return into the backhand. Chen's forced to chip it back. The slice, though, it's going long. And it is 30-40. Another break back point for Osorio. First serve lands in. Oh, yeah, went down the tee, and this time the Osorio return goes long. So Janice Chen saves that break point, and we're at deuce. This is crucial. And that was a let. Janice Chen, first serve, went down the tee, but it clipped the net. Is she going to go back that way this time? Nope, she checks her ball toss. She's going to start her toss again. And then she puts it into the net. She decided to go down in the middle of the service box this time, but second serve lands in. Oh, wow. So Janice Chen, I thought Osorio was going to take the point there, but Janice Chen slices out the backhand corner, but it was pretty low and pretty quick. And Osorio was coming forward, and it just got caught under her feet. She wasn't able to do anything with it. And so it's a first set point to Janice Chen. First set point here to Janice Chen. Can you believe it? Well, that first serve here in the juice court, the ad court. She's going for the far side, but it's out. Second serve now. Oh my goodness. Oh, my stream just froze up there. Oh my goodness. And producer is going to be away for 10 minutes. What am I going to see when I get this back up? Oh no, it's back to juice. So she failed to take that set point. And that's the first serve into the net there from Janice Chen. So second serve now here at juice. Second serve. She's got to be feeling pressure here, Janice. Yeah, and then you can see Osorio adjusted her return position there. And she was ready to take that forehand, really nicely placed. And that's advantage Osorio. Advantage Osorio after having the set point there, Janice Chen. She's going to be disappointed if she can't take this. Oh, the lob there from Osorio. Surely she's going to take it now. No, we're still going on in this rally. Wow, eventually Janice comes out on top in that one. I thought the point might have ended a couple of times there, either way for either player, but somehow Janice Chen survives. It's juice. So I feel like Janice Chen got a little bit lucky there, but she hangs on. So here we go. And that's a good serve out wide. The return from Osorio going into the net. So another set point here for the Indonesian. Can she take the set here? If she can, it will be a big deal. Because this has been quite a competitive match. And that's it. Janice Chen does take the first set. Good play there from the Indonesian. The aggression in the forehand doing the job there in the end. And here we go. Into a final set we go. And that was nearly an hour, by the way, that second set. 55 minutes played. But it's 6-3, 3-6. Yeah, 6-3 first set to Osorio, 6-3 second set taken by Janice Chen. Well, Janice Chen hitting more winners there, 15 winners to 8 only for Osorio, both making a fair number of unforced errors, fewer for Osorio, but overall I think the ratio's better for Chen. Overall, 42 points to 38 in favor of Janice Chen in that set. Only 55% of first serves made, though, for Janice Chen. So if 70% for Osorio, but certainly, obviously, with her having quite a bit of a weapon with that serve, if she was able to bring it up in the final set, that would certainly help her out. I mean, I think, obviously, she does have a, quite a big serve, especially for her height. But obviously, maybe that height, makes things a little bit more difficult for her in terms of making more first serves. So yeah, it's down there at 55%. She'd certainly be wanting to bring that up higher, above 60%. But elsewhere, Alex Molchan and Felix Gill in a final set, taking one set each. That's French Open qualifying. Well. So quite a match on our hands here. I mean, I did sort of think before the match that maybe Janice would be able to take a set. But in the end, Osorio, I would expect her to win. Obviously, much better pedigree on the surface. And obviously finishing as a semi-finalist last year. But here, I mean, Janice has been hanging in well. I mean, she did have a lot of opportunities, by the way. But yeah, so many breakpoint opportunities. She eventually was able to get them. She had to break twice. And then almost didn't serve out that second set, but got it done in the end. And it's been, but very much been a tight and competitive match. overall, the points total in the match, 68 points to Janice Chen to 64 for Camila Osorio. Slightly in favor of Janice Chen, but just illustrating that it's been a close match. And if these Google stats are correct, I'm not entirely convinced that they are. You know, Janice Chen winning 71% on first serve and 35% on second serve. So the big differential there, and you know, when she gets that first serve in, much more dominant. Let's check though if that matches the WTA website. And if we get the stats there. Yeah, but similar, 73% of first serve points won by Janice Chen and only 32% on the second serve. It's a good start there. Good first point there for Camila Osorio. Yes. Osorio coming out in this final set with good intensity, good aggression there. And she's at 40 love here. Wow, that was a good return winner there off the Osorio second serve. Big forehand into the corner by Chen. So first game on the board in the final set to Camila Osorio. So yes, tomorrow is the Roland Garros French Open. Main draw will be made. We're going to have coverage of that on Talking Tennis live. Obviously, you may be watching us now on Talking Tennis. We're also being streamed on Tennis Asia TV. So 2 channels here. Concurrently, we are streaming for this live watch along. If you are watching on either channel, hit like and subscribe. And if you fancy it, you could go and watch it on one of the other channels, whichever one you're not watching. So it could be talking about some potential matchup. Yeah, Rabat, Osaka versus Zhang. Well, if you're talking about Tennis Asia matchups, those would be huge matchups. Oh, well, good scurrying along way behind the baseline. Great scrambling by Osorio. Good defensive play. Huge defensive lob up into the air. And Janice Chen hits a smash into the net, which obviously should be very disappointed about, but good play from Osorio, really. Ayala against Rybakina. Well, I think Ayala would probably want to avoid that first up. Osaka versus Zhang. Now, Zhang Qinwen She is a dangerous floater in this draw, by the way, because obviously she's unseeded. And you know, was she last year? I think she was quarter finalist. And that was just before she got injured and everything. So that's obviously why her rankings dropped. And you know, she's not quite hit full speed since she's come back, but obviously Olympic gold medalist. And that was won at Roland Garros. She can absolutely play extremely well on clay. And yeah, and proven at Roland Garros. So I don't think anyone's going to want to face her early. Wow, Zhang versus Iga. I mean, it's potential, yeah. She could get one of these big players in the first round. She probably want to avoid Sabalenka. But is Barbara Krejcikova playing? I'm not entirely sure. I'm going to have to check this. I should be getting up to speed with who's going to be in the French Open draw. Wow, good play there from Janice to hang in. 40-30. Yeah, good. That's worked well for Janice today. I mean, on the juice court, when she serves out wide, it's either, you know, being an ace or it's come back and it's opened the court right up for her. So, and, you know, brings into play that forehand. Oh, double fault, though, from Janice. It brings it back to juice. Yes, we could get Zhang Qinwen. We're talking about her being unseeded, but, you know, probably is still a top 10 player, perhaps on clay still. So, or at least of that kind of level. So, well, good play there from Osorio coming forward, and she wins the point. And it's a chance for a break early in this third set as Osorio gets an advantage. And that's it. It was a decent first serve, but it came back well from Osorio. And Janice Chen, a bit rushed, sends her forehand way out. And it's a break early for the Colombian, 2-love. Elsewhere, by the way, in this, in Strasbourg, Emma Navarro has started off in an All-American clash against Iva Jovic. Iva Jovic, the third seed there in Strasbourg. Oh, sorry, getting a bit carried away there, I think. I mean, it was, you know, the backhand slice down the line return from Osorio. She felt the court open up, but she went big with that forehand, but sends it way out. 15-all. That was good play there from Osorio, waiting to hit that backhand up the line and executes well. 30-15. Second serve here at 40-15. Into the body. Does returned okay by Janice Chen. Oh, but eventually she hits a forehand long. And that's 3 games to love. And Osorio in control here. So just the one break, but obviously seeing a 3-0, a 3 love, you know, it gives you a bit of a psychological advantage if you are Camila Osorio. It's certainly pressure now for Janice as she will come out to serve. Does she have it in her to mount a comeback? And yeah, it does feel like Camila has started to pull away in the latter stages of the match. So yeah, it's love 3 now on the Janice Chen serve in this third and final set. Second serve now for the Indonesian. That serve lands in, but Osorio is doing well to get the ball back with interest here. Oh, but eventually her forehand going into the net. And 15 love. And yeah, Janice probably has to hold here and then think about trying to get back into this. But yeah, it's going to be difficult. Let's see if she can keep her focus. No, that was a poor slice out of the court there from Janice Chen. 50 all. I think, though, it's somewhat positive for Janice, I suppose. I mean, against Camila, who is, you know, a good clay courter. You know, she has been quite competitive and perhaps, you know, would have liked to have taken maybe some of those break points earlier when she could have, but and that was an aggressive return there from Osorio, the backhand winner. It's 15-30, so a little bit of a pressure moment here now for Janice Chen. She could do the first serve, but that first serve lands long. And this is a big moment. Oh, and that was good play from Osorio going back into the backhand. And it's 15-40, so 2 breakpoint opportunities for Osorio. And you'd have to say if she does take this, it would look like almost game over. Maybe Janice's first serve, deserting her a little bit when she needed it most. Again, the first serve going into the net. Good aggression here from Janice Chen. Is it enough? Yes, that forehand is into the corner. And Osorio's ball lands long. So she had to step up and take control there. Take a bit of risk going with aggression on that forehand to open up the court. Always a bit risky with Osorio, who's able to scramble and get the ball back. But it was enough to stretch Osorio. But still a breakpoint chance here for the Colombian. So about wide, well executed by Janice Chen, but does she get the ball back? She does. Is she going to be? Oh, a short ball, but she sends her forehand into the net. And, well, I mean, it was good scrambling again from Camila Osorio, and Janice just being thrown out of a rhythm there and makes the error. And it's 4 games to love for Camila Osorio. And it does feel like this match is quickly slipping away from the Indonesian. It's 4-love. And now, yeah, of course, if Osorio does win this game, she'll be 1 game away from the match. Well, it was a little chip return there. Short ball, and it brings Osorio forward a bit, but her backhand goes into the net. So it's love 15, not the ideal start for Osorio, who obviously wants to consolidate and, you know, pretty much take the match out the grasp of the Indonesian. That's a decent return there from Janice this time as well. Oh, that was nice play there from Camila Osorio, going back in behind Janice, taking it early with intent. Janice couldn't do anything in that backhand corner. Wrong-footed, 15-all. And that's a miss there from Janice Chen. She did well on that point. Maybe a little bit surprised to see the ball just come back in again, but 30-15 to Osorio. Elsewhere, Anna Bondar's won a tight tiebreak against Arango in this tournament. Well, that was I think a big forehand hit out of frustration more than anything there from Janice Chen. Yeah, that was just a wild forehand. And it's 40-15 now for Osorio. And good serve down the tee. Oh, somehow the chip return does go back in from Janice Chen. And that's it. And it's 5 games to love for the Colombian. And this game is just, this match has just fallen away very quickly. Just Janice Chen not able to quite keep up that intensity in the third set. That's what it seems like. Well, you know, the opposite from Camila Osorio very much coming out with, aggression and the intensity. Well, if you are watching on Talking Tennis, or if you're watching on Tennis Asia TV, we are actually streaming concurrently on the 2 channels. Please hit like and subscribe. Tomorrow on Talking Tennis, that's going to be Thursday evening in Asia, but for much of Asia, Thursday daytime, I believe, or earlier in the day. I'm not entirely sure when the French Open draw is going to be on, but the Thursday we will have the French Open draw live, and it's going to be exciting. More so on the women's side than the men's, let's be honest. And that's a good serve out wide, though, from Janice, which has served her well. So 15 love. Let's see if she can get one game on the board at least and make Osorio serve out the match. Yes, the French Open is almost upon us. Sunday, the main draw will start. And perhaps we'll be doing another live stream for the opening matches there. And the Osorio ball going wide there into tram lines. 30 love to Chen. And my stream's just decided to freeze up again. And there we go, we're back. A 40 love to Janice. And serve lands in. Nice backhand there from Osorio, though backhand up the line there. So it is 40-15. 40-15. Janice Chen, the Indonesian number 1, just serving to stay in the match. Well, that's a good first serve, but it does come back from Osorio. And Janice Chen trying to go big up the line there. You can just sort of feel the frustration really in Janice Chen's shots at the moment. Being a little impatient. And she seems talking to herself there. She seems still a bit angry. Oh, this good returning there from Osorio. Just deep enough to and close enough to Chen to disrupt her. And that's back at deuce. And Chen facing potentially a bagel here. Serve out wide and it does come back. I think Osorio knows exactly what to do here. Oh, she had a lot of time there, Osorio. Looks surely she was going to hit a forehand winner, but she hits it wide into the tram line. So, well, Janice Chen gets a little gift there, but it's advantage to Chen and a chance for her just to get her first game of the final set, and perhaps her only one. Oh, great play there from Osorio, reading it so well, but also being able to get in position and make the shot and make that land in. Maybe a little bit predictable there from Janice, but I think you got to get credit for the way Osorio was scrambling there and obviously wanted to get this match done as soon as possible, as we're just come up to 2 hours on the match clock. Good serve there from Janice Chen. Is she going to finish off with a winner? Yes, she does. The forehand winner. Very important play for her on the deuce side. Hit that serve out wide and follow up with the forehand. You know, the inside out. Second serve now for Janice Chen. Good return though there from Camila Osorio. And Janice Chen forced to hit a little loopy slice there, but it lands just wide again into the tram line. So another deuce, the third deuce of this game. And now Camila looking very pumped up. She wants to get this done. She wants to get that bagel. Oh, that's another good serve out wide in that deuce court. So another free point for Janice. And it helps when she gets the first serve in. You know, it's so effective for her. But anyway, she's got the advantage here. Another first serve lands in, but Camila gets it back. That's good scrambling there from Janice, but again at the end of her range, unable to do it this time on the forehand side, Janice. So back to deuce. Fourth deuce in this game. Well, I suppose you give credit to Janice for still fighting, at least here. Not throwing in the towel. Second serve now, though. This might be a chance for Osorio. Well, down the middle this time. Middle of the service box. Still some great rallying here. But Osorio just hustling so well. And Janice Chen doesn't know how to finish it off. But she does it. She does it. Oh, that was a great lob. And Osorio going for the tweener, but unable to execute. It goes into net. And that was a great point. Won in the end by Janice Chen. She went for the cute little drop shot. I thought it was maybe not good enough. Osorio got there, but Janice Chen went for the lob. Osorio going for the tweener. But that was quite a rally. And let's see. Well, hopefully that's in the highlights reel. But Janice Chen with an advantage. And that's a good serve, but can she finish it off? No. Osorio gets it back, and Janice Chen hits her forehand weakly into the net. And another deuce here. Oh my God, this stream is just freezing up again. Okay, let's see if we can get this stream back here. Oh, and the Chen backhand slice just drifting long, so it's Osorio with an advantage. And a match point. Match point Osorio. And a chance to finish it off with a bagel. Wow, that was a good forehand from Janice, but it still comes back from Osorio. Oh, in the end, good enough because it draws the error from Osorio and it's back to juice. The match still going on, and Chen gives a little fist pump there. You have to give credit for her because she's still fighting hard here, playing some of the best tennis, you know, that she's played in the match. And then, you know, maybe she could have done that earlier in the set, and she wouldn't be in such a difficult position here. But hey, still fighting here. Second serve now, though, on this at juice. Oh, just hitting off the top of the net and just dropping over. So a little bit of luck there for Janice Chen, but it's another chance for another second serve. Oh no, but it's out. It's a double fault. So it's another match point opportunity for Camila Osorio. Oh, she went down the tee and it was, I mean, it looked a good serve. It landed in, but it was a let. Must have just clipped the net. So it's another first serve. Goes that way again, but it does come back from Camila. Oh, and the forehand eventually just going long. And that's out. So it is 6-love there to Camila, and she comes forward. Camila gives Janice Chen a little hug. Well, that's nice to see. Clearly they're friendly, and they had a little smile at the end there, but it finishes. So it's Camila Osorio 6-3, 3-6, 6-love.
Wow. You're going to have to fill me in on some of the gaps in that match because I didn't see it in its entirety as I was elsewhere, particularly in terms of the French Open qualifying. In a way, what kind of took me by surprise is Chen getting that second set.
Yeah, I mean, and she had I really wasn't sure she'd be able to do it because she had so many opportunities to break and then, you know, failed to get the breaks. And eventually she did break. But like a few times in the match as well, she'd broken and then got broken back. So, yeah, not being able to consolidate breaks. But eventually, and she was under some pressure in that final game on her service game, which she was serving out the second set. And she did eventually take it, but then just couldn't keep the intensity up in the third set because, you know, up until that point, it'd been a very competitive, pretty even match. And then, yeah, in the third set, just the intensity dipped. Camila came out roaring, and I just don't think Janice matched it. She kind of went into her shell a little bit. I think Camila was attacking, obviously, the backhand there and just sort of wrong-footing Janice at times. And then, yeah, I think Janice started to play some good tennis towards the end there when the match looked like it's basically done. But, yeah, still wasn't able to avoid the bagel.
Yeah, there's a few things with Janice on clay that still leave a bit to be convinced. I just think that that she might be able to get a set here and there against a clay dog like Osorio if the forehand and serve can hold up, but they can maybe only hold up so long. I think Janice is going to probably, a bit like Alex, but maybe even more so, always struggle on the clay because some of her weapons get taken away, particularly the serve, for example, in Janice's case. In Alex's case, I think it's the return, funnily enough, that gets kind of mitigated by the slower clay conditions and to some extent the movement. Also, Janice's slice, which might get a little bit more purchase on the grass, for example, is not going to stand up so well on the clay as well, right?
Yeah, I think actually the slice at times was pretty good today. I thought she actually was, because I think in general sometimes
did it have a lot of depth on it, because that's what it does need. It always needs good depth,
a little bit more pace, and then right into the corners. Yeah, I think well placed. I mean, I think she was going it with intent, and I think maybe getting used to sort of playing those patterns. But obviously, there were still at times though when Camila was attacking it and it was working out for her. But on the other hand, like there was times when Janice was hitting those slices and actually it was drawing errors from Camila. So, when she was hitting them well. So yeah, maybe a work in progress there. But I mean, I just think, like you say though, on clay, I think, she wants to try and be aggressive and dominate normally. And I think when you play against like Camila, it's sometimes hard because she defends so well and she just makes you move. And it's just, eventually, she was just too much in the end, Camila, for Janice. Just a really hard opponent, and you can see why she does so well on clay.
And Osorio is going to be playing Panna Udvardi in the next round, someone who actually does tend to get some pretty good results on all surfaces, but clay in particular. So that might be a little bit more tricky. Panna Udvardi and Osorio, of course, are both players who Alex Ayala is very familiar with. Ayala, of course, lost to her a year ago or so, didn't she, on the clay, but then got some revenge in the Guadalajara 125 final. But I'm going off at a tangent somewhat. Osorio and Udvardi will play each other in the next round. I don't know if you know a lot about Panna, but Panna has a pretty meaty serve. Despite being pretty tall, she moves all right on the clay. I think she'll be possibly trickier opposition for Camila, or in fact, right now, Panna Udvardi is, I think, ranked slightly higher. I've actually got some sort of, I think I made some predictions a couple of months ago that both Panna and Dalma Galfi, the two Hungarians, would actually get career highs during this clay court season. And if they haven't quite done it, they're very, very close to it. So this is quite an evenly matched affair between Osorio and Udvardi. But I still think because of Osorio and because of, I think she loves these little moments in the season. I was thinking about vulturing earlier, and it's a tennis phrase that makes me giggle as it does you, I'm sure. But, a bit like, who's the one from North Africa, a clay dog who picks up titles when you're not watching on the women's side? Oh, she's Egyptian, I think.
Maya Sharif, is it?
Maya Sharif, yeah. Just when you're sleeping on a tournament, you just see on a Sunday evening on Instagram that she's holding a trophy aloft somewhere. And Camila Osorio a little bit like that. And this 250, of course, in Rabat, maybe goes under the radar a little bit in the week, in the build up to the slam, when all the social media posts are about the French Open. And if they are going to be about the main tour, it's more likely to be Strasbourg, obviously being the 500, also in the same country. So just a final thought on potentially Osorio against Udvardi.
Well, I mean, I haven't seen Udvardi play in this tournament, but I mean, I guess pretty impressed with Osorio there, because I thought, Janice was playing about as good as about as good as she can get on this surface, and I thought, especially with how Osorio came through in that last set, it was impressive. So, yeah, perhaps a chance for Osorio to make it through, I think. And if she does, though, I don't think it's going to be easy, because there's potentially was Anna Bondar or
another Hungarian,
and Kalinina, I think is there's two Ukrainians, so Starodubtseva and Kalinina, but I think both. I think Kalinina is good on clay for sure. So yeah, I think it was Kalinina. Who did she beat? She beat someone I was covering not that long ago.
Yeah,
in the final.
maybe. Yeah, she of course did have a run to the Rome final a few years ago. Udvardi, just back to Udvardi against Osorio. They haven't played for 2 years, and their last the 3-1 head-to-head does favour Osorio, but their most recent match, Osorio will be very keen to revenge because it went the way of Udvardi and it went the way of her in Colombia, no less, in Cali, the capital of dance in Colombia, somewhere I've actually even been myself, albeit a long time ago. All right, listen, big thanks to you, Eddie, for this stream. It is getting late now in Seoul, and I'm sure it's late if you're tuning in from other parts of Asia. If you're in mainland Europe like myself, then the evening is just beginning. And yeah, we look forward to seeing you again soon on the channel. Do check out Tennis Asia TV. Give that a subscribe if you haven't done so already. And likewise for Talking Tennis, where we will be back with you tomorrow for the Roland Garros draw. And there are some potential. I think it's going to be impossible, Eddie, to have a first round draw that doesn't stir the interests of the average tennis fan, because there's just the women's tour is so deep right now. We mentioned half a dozen players that aren't even seeded who are going to be dangerous. Players such as Qinwen Zheng, for example. I think Barbora Krejcikova as well is playing, of course, a previous champion, and so many more. I think Osorio won't be seeded, for example. Alex Ialo is not going to be seeded. Janice Chen neither. So all of those players could be potential round ones for Rybakina or for Iga Swiatek or Sabalenka, which is going to be very exciting. And that is coming up on the channel sometime early evening if you're based in Asia, or early afternoon if you're in Europe. But that is for tomorrow, Eddie, and we look forward to seeing you again soon.
Yeah, looking forward to it.
Cool. Bye-bye.
If you enjoyed this video, make sure you hit that like button. Don't forget to subscribe and click that notification bell so you don't miss out on all things tennis.